I didn't shed a single tear when the officiant announced us husband and wife. Not when we exchanged rings. Not when my wife whispered, "We really made it." But something inside me, something small and fragile, ripped in half the moment my phone buzzed in my pocket as I said my vows. A message from my mother. "Sorry, Beta. We won't be able to make it. Your brother's puppy has his graduation today. We'll send pictures red heart. A dog. They skipped my wedding for a dog's graduation." I remember lifting my eyes to the small circle of people who did show up, friends who had become family, and feeling the truth settle over me like dust. My parents had chosen a leash over their own son. I kept smiling. That was the last moment I let myself feel anything without calculation. There was a time when they bragged about me constantly. The first in the family to finish university. The one who worked nights while studying days. The kid who paid half the household bills before he even had a real job. When I told them I met someone steady, gentle, impossible not to love, they acted happy. Polite happy. The kind of happiness that never reached their eyes. But my brother, he was a golden child. The sun they orbited. The miracle who couldn't keep a job for more than a season, whose failures were phases, and whose whims were dreams. It wasn't jealousy. It was clarity. Clarity that only burns once denial dies. I knew something was wrong when Mom kept forgetting basic wedding details. The date, the time, even the venue she'd visited twice. Dad kept repeating, "We'll see how your mother feels. You know her back pain, Beta." Yet somehow her back pain didn't stop her from posting daily reels of my brother's golden retriever wearing bow ties, smashing birthday cakes, and doing something called puppy yoga. Adorable dog. Disgusting priorities. 3 nights before the wedding, I saw the truth by accident. A reminder popped up in the family group chat. Rocky's graduation, Saturday 5 p.m. Don't forget. My wedding was also Saturday at 5 p.m. Same day, same time. Not an accident. A choice. I didn't confront them. I didn't ask for an explanation. Instead, I sat alone in the dark and felt a different version of myself finally wake up. One who didn't beg for space in their world. One who knew that revenge never needs noise. Only timing. So I record the entire wedding, every speech, every laugh, every quiet moment where my wife squeezed my hand because she understood. When the night ended and confetti still clung to my hair, I sent my parents one message. Here's the part you missed. I attached a 17-minute video of my vows. The moment their 2 empty chairs sat like wounds in the front row. Then I turned my phone off. Not silent, not airplane mode. Off. Let their calls fall into the same void they pushed me into. By morning, my phone was suffocated with notifications. 54 missed calls. 32 from Mom. 20 from Dad. 2 from my brother, which almost made me laugh. And 1 voicemail from Mom, her voice trembling. "Beta, what have we done? Please call us. Please. It's not what you think." It was exactly what I thought. I didn't reply. I wanted them to sit with those empty chairs. Imagine the whispers, the judgment, the disappointment they always feared more than failing me. A week later, I showed up at their house without warning. They were sitting at the dining table. The same place where I once studied, the same place where they practiced excuses their whole lives. Mom rushed to me, her face blotchy. Dad rose slowly, guilt dragging him down. "We made a mistake," he said. "No," I answered. "You made a decision." Mom reached for my arm. I stepped away. The silence was thick and accusing. "You sent that video to the entire family. Dad managed." "I did," I said. "They deserved to know why those chairs were empty." But the truth was simpler. They cared more about how they looked than how they behaved. Mom's voice cracked. "Do you know how embarrassing it was?" I smiled coldly. I learned from the best. Dad swallowed hard. That was when they understood this wasn't a tantrum. This was a severance. I placed my wedding album on the table, still wrapped, untouched. "For when you remember what matters," I said, and I walked out before they could respond. I didn't fully cut them off. That would have been mercy. Instead, I let them remain on the outer edges of my life. Always informed, never included. They watch from afar as my marriage thrives, as milestones pass, as celebrations happen without their shadows. Their punishment is simple. They only get the pieces of me they bothered to show up for, which is nearly nothing. And sometimes late at night, I think about that video, my vows echoing through their living room, their silence louder than applause. They missed my wedding for a dog's graduation, so I returned the favor. I let them watch my life from a distance, behind a screen, just like they watched my wedding.